So guys, what is up? Back with another video, but in this one I'm going to basically cover how you can add 19 meetings in a week with a trained specialist. So I'm going to make this video really quick. Hopefully it doesn't take me too long. But I first off wanted to say that none of this will work if you don't put the work in yourself. I know a lot of people that want everything done for you. We're now in a done for you space where everybody wants everything handed to them, but that's not the way businesses run. And if you want a successful agency, if you want to get results, if you want to get clients and you want to book meetings, then you're going to have to put in some work. So just a little disclaimer before I dive in. So if you're just starting, as in you just started your agency last week or last month, or just getting the ball rolling, then this video might not be as applicable as someone who's already running a successful agency, got at least one client. But still stick around. I'm going to cover some points that might help you later down the line. So the issues that I want to cover, and I'll give the solutions for each corresponding issue, is one, a lot of agency owners nowadays don't send enough volume. Two, they don't have any market presence. And three, they have a weak offer. So I sectioned this out into just a group of 3 solutions. And for those, I have high message flow, which is something I'll cover, free value proposition, and multi-present offer. So without further ado, let's dive in. So when it comes to our own agency, we actually were able to get these results for ourselves. So we were able to book 5 meetings every single day and see those meetings rolling in and not have to depend on the next meeting and when is it going to come in, etc., etc. The main issues when it comes to outreach, just that people aren't sending enough. And any outreach channel that you have, whether it be SMS messages, emails, cold calls, DMs, etc., the list goes on, the volume isn't there. And without volume, you won't see results, or at least the results that you want. So a good way to think about it is think about it as views on a YouTube video. So any YouTube video that you watch, any person that you like, any person that you follow or subscribe to, most likely has a lot of views. So in order to get those views, you have to be on the feed 24/7. You have to be constantly in people's eyes. And you simply can't do that with low outreach rates. And what I mean by low outreach rates is 40 to 100 messages a day or a week. That's really not going to get you the results that you want. So in order to mitigate that and create a solution for yourself, I put here that consistency always outweighs chance. Always. The more consistent that you are, the less you rely on luck, the less you rely on the chance of you getting a client, because it's more and more leaning towards being guaranteed. Obviously, it can't be 100% guaranteed, but you're closing that gap. The more that you send, the more that you are able to cover when it comes to area, and the more people see you. And in order to do that, you should be sending at least 300 messages a day, meaning that you can book on average about 50 meetings every single month. That's about 20 meetings a week at least. And another thing is doing outreach yourself will only make you drown in your own workflow. You can't be solely focused on outreach because then all your energy is drained and you can't focus on other parts of your business, like the systems and the fulfillment and the content, etc., because you're stuck doing outreach all day, every single day. And then in order to mitigate that, you want to get a trained specialist. Leverage their conversational flows, which you'll train them to do so. Give them workflows that convert into consistent meetings and have them do that at scale. So they're sending 300 messages a day on ideally 2 different outreach channels. One is fine if you only have one specialist. So that's about 150 messages a day, which is still over that break even of 100. But winning comes from follow-ups. So even if you're sending that amount of volume every single day, you also have to follow up, which is what your specialist will be trained to do. And make sure you always keep that front of mind because a lot of your meetings will come from follow-ups. So just like you get emails from the subscriptions that you have and you get them all the time with consistency, and then after a while it's like, okay, let me check this out and click it. It's the same thing with sending volume through messages, cold DMs, etc. You always want to be front of mind and you always want to make sure that the person sees your message because they may be interested and that may be your next client. And think about your competition. A lot of people want to get into the space and they completely forget about their competitors and everybody else. Your competition is definitely outplaying you. There's people like me that they send 600 messages a day, 1,000 messages a day, and it just goes on. So how do you expect to win if you're sending 40 to 100 messages a day or a week? You're not going to be seen because you're just like a needle in a haystack. No one is going to see you. And that's a problem because in order to get clients, you need to be seen. And this is what the specialist schedule would look like. They're working 5 hours a day, 5 days a week, and their only job is outreach, consistently getting better and consistently booking you meetings. They're sending 300 messages a day, so that's with 2 specialists, 150 messages a day. They use an unambiguous message workflow so that they convert onto a call. Then they do end of day reporting, end of week reporting. And this is important because you want to track your numbers. You want to see results and you want to see what areas are lacking, and you will be able to know that if they're reporting to you and you're tracking their consistency. Because if you don't track your numbers, then you won't know what's working and what's not, and all of this will be for waste. And now let's hop into part 2. So this is where the free value approach comes in. Anybody that you ask will always want free stuff. They would rather get it for free than pay. That's just how we all are, because money is, you have to earn it. You're not giving any value. I see so many agency owners, they hop right in, and we've done this ourselves to where you don't give any value and expect everybody to purchase your product. Well, how would they purchase your product if you haven't given them anything? You just want to sell them immediately. They don't even know who you are. And this will basically automatically put up a brick wall between you and the prospect, because they don't see any value from you. You're not presenting them with any value. And even if you have value, let's say on your page, on your website, they're not going to care because you're immediately trying to sell them. And I want this to be drilled into your head, because giving free value will give you greater return than trying to get something first. Give them something to bite and then hook them. So you actually have to give some value. And another issue is that your value is vague. So you're afraid to give too much away. So the solution to this is, the more you give, the better. That's the mindset that you need to have. Become amazing at creating free value. That should be a skill that's almost at the top of your skill stack. Placing yourself as an authority in your space. This will give you so much leverage. I heard Alex Hormozi say this somewhere, where he says, give away the secrets and sell the implementation. And basically what that means is there's literally no reason to essentially hide anything, as long as you're literally not giving away the implementation, like from start to finish. That makes sense. But everything that you know, there's no reason that you shouldn't be sharing it. You should be sharing it because you want to be seen as the authority, and you want people to be enticed and interested in what you're doing. That's how you win. You don't win by immediately selling somebody and asking that they'll run Facebook ads for them, and they don't even know who you are. And you can leverage VSLs, which are video sales letters, combined and mixed in with messaging workflows, and get crazy responses and more meetings. Because again, remember, the reason why we're here is because we want meetings nonstop, consistently, every single day, at least 5 meetings a day. For example, value videos like YouTube videos, shorts, etc., any type of content that's going over solutions for your niche, marketing tips, strategies, different implementations. You want to put yourself out there as much as you can and give as much value as you can with the time that you have. And that's why leveraging specialists to do everything else, like outreach, will give you that ability to create value, because without value, no one's going to buy from you. You can create mini walkthroughs, Google Docs like this one, even mini courses. There's a lot of people on Twitter that leverage 2 steps using mini courses. The more information that you give, the less possibility to lose. It's just a given. You're building trust. You're showing your expertise. You're putting yourself as the authority in your market. People are coming to you instead of going everywhere else, because they constantly see you, and 2, you're always giving them value. So they start to build that trust, because if a person doesn't trust you, oh Lord, they're not going to buy from you. And diving into the last part of this, because again, I said I didn't want to keep this too long, which is stacking your offer. And issues that I see with this is everyone in the space is copying each other. And when I mean copying, I mean like word for word. There's no originality, there's no variation. It's just the same exact thing that they offer. Okay, cool. I'm just going to copy their text and paste it and do the same exact thing. It works. I've done it sometimes, full transparency, but the problem is it's super linear. There's no scaling involved, because you can get results for a little bit, but after a while, the market gets numb to the message because they see it everywhere, and it's just the same old boring thing. And little do you know that this same person that you're prospecting to has gotten the same message 10 to 20 times that same day, and you're number 15 or 21, and they're sick of it. The offer is weak, it's one-dimensional, and the solution isn't really worth the investment. There's no perceived value. You want to create your own version of the solution. The solutions, they already exist. There's no point in wasting your time on inventing a brand new solution as if you're Einstein. All you have to do is innovate, create your own version, and actually put thought into what you sell. And I added this little thing here, which is add more layers to your offer. It's a must. If you're selling a one-dimensional offer, you're not going to get any results, because it doesn't have any value. It doesn't hold any value, because it's just the same thing that anybody else can do. And at this point, there's a lot of YouTube videos. If your offer is one-dimensional, I could probably find it on YouTube and learn it and just do it myself. So in order to solve that issue. Cover multiple angles of the same exact problem. It doesn't have to be like 30 different problems. It can be one problem. Make your solutions seem like a literal no-brainer. As in, when you're in the workflow, you're giving them free value, it should be a no-brainer for them to immediately decide to, oh, maybe I should listen in some more. Maybe I should actually listen to what this guy is saying, listen to what this girl is saying. And that's the reaction that you want. Because if your offer is one-dimensional, and I'll repeat this multiple times because I want it to stick, you're really not going to get that reaction. The only reaction you're really going to get is, cool, maybe, or even like, I've already seen this, next. And a way to think about this is if you won't buy your own product, like if someone was to sell you what you're trying to sell to other people and you wouldn't buy it, then why the hell would anybody else buy it? Like, actually, ask yourself that question. Literally create a list of reasons that keep you or someone else from investing in your product or service. Create the solutions. So go through that list and solve all the problems and hit it with different angles. Get creative because this offer is going to be your backbone. Different angles for all the reasons that you listed. Add them as key features and bonuses to your offer. And now you have a banging offer because instead of being one-dimensional, now you're covering multiple angles of the same problem, which actually makes your offer seem twice to 3 to 4 or 5 times as valuable as it was. So you're charging a high ticket for your service, so actually make it valuable. If you want to charge 3K, if you want to charge 4K, 5K, all the way up, you actually have to provide value at that point. You can't charge $2,500, $3,000 for simple Facebook ads. It's not going to work. And that's actually my next point, is what not to do. If your service costs $2,500, $3,000, $4,000, etc., and your offer is just Facebook ads management, again, I could find a YouTube video and probably run Facebook ads better myself and save more money because I won't be paying you the $2,500 fee. And I'm saying this because I used to do this. Like me and my brother, we used to do this. It was terrible because if you're not paying attention to this, sometimes it just flies right over your head. But this is literally what we were trying to sell for $2,500. Of course, no one's going to buy it. It's basically flat, one-dimensional. There's no value. But if you switch it up, you can actually charge even more. So charge $5,000. Say that you can have a 7-day setup, and you can actually even charge performance based off results. So it's a one-time setup. They don't have to pay a monthly fee. Okay, cool, interesting. And the offer is create all the creatives, strategic account optimization to what they already have, manage it. Great, cool. Then you can also build them a free owned audience so they can step a little bit away from paying for ads because now they own an audience and they have access to free capital. Weekly, monthly strategy calls to always check in, to always innovate, to always make sure you're hitting the different angles. We'll guide you through, we'll walk you, we'll hold your hand. Booking management that you could even do for them. So you can even place a specialist or an appointment setter to book everything that comes in. And now, instead of just offering Facebook ads, it's still basically the same thing, but the value went through the roof. And you can charge this or even way more. And you can keep adding because when it comes to prices, anything over 2,000, if you're just selling a one-dimensional offer, it's really not going to stick with anybody because the market is so sophisticated nowadays. The difference is now the perceived value, and presentation is everything. Like I put this here as a last thought because let's say if you're going to a fancy restaurant or you're going to a restaurant in general and you pay $500 for like a steak, you're not paying because of how it tastes. It's the presentation and the experience. So this presentation gives you the thought of, oh man, this experience is going to be great. And you have to deliver on this experience, which is why you have to focus on the actual fulfillment side of things. But it's definitely a lot better than paying than this because this looks like a $5 steak, not even. And you're trying to charge $500 for it. But with those three in combination, and if you go and mitigate all these issues, you tackle them and you make sure you're focused on oversending, flooding the market with consistency by leveraging specialists, leveraging a team. You always give value consistently. You're making videos, you're making content, you're giving away value for free, and you actually have somewhat of a stacked offer, then there's literally no reason that people don't book with you and people don't sign with you because you're different from the market. Like I said, the market is extremely sophisticated, so you have to separate yourself. But like I said in the beginning, didn't want to make this too long. I hope you got something out of this, and I will catch y'all in the next one.